Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. So in today's video, we're going to be testing out the new Anastasia Beverly Hills by Alyssa Edwards eyeshadow palette. And we're also going to be testing out the new eyeshadow primer by Anastasia as well. So I'm super freaking excited, you guys. And I also want to compare this palette to the Anastasia Riviera palette. So if you have been juggling between the two, if you don't know which colorful palette to get, hopefully this video helps. So we're going to be doing a couple of swatches, and of course I'm going to show you guys how I created this look using the new eyeshadow palette by ABH and Alyssa Edwards. So I'm super excited. So if you guys are interested in seeing my first impression slash comparison slash makeup tutorial on the new eyeshadow palette, then let's go ahead and jump right in. So lately I've been doing this thing with my nose where I put on setting powder, especially if I'm done with my face and I'm gonna be taking my time on my eyeshadow, because I get really oily right here. So I don't want this to be greasy by the time I'm done with this tutorial. So yeah, so this is what the box looks like. You have a super cute bedazzled mirror, which I think is adorable. Then it comes with the fan, which, like I said, I know a lot of you already seen, but let's see what this palette is all about. This is my first time actually pulling it out, seeing it in person, because I wanted to save it for today's video, but this is what she looks like. Super cute. And ooh, this is pretty. When I was looking at it online, I was like, okay, she's colorful, she's cute, but in person, these colors, you know, some palettes you have to really just see in person for you to, you know, like it as much. But this one, okay, just looking at it, like, ooh, this deep purple, y'all know this is my type of color. I love a deep plum shade, and that is what that is. I'm gonna try my best not to do any looks that I've already done on my channel for today, so fingers crossed that I can accomplish that. Ooh, girl, these purples in here, I love a purple shadow, like, and the blue, ooh, look at that blue, girl. Let me just do a little close-up so y'all can see what I'm seeing. So here's the front, and then this is the inside right here. So cute, so cute. And then the fact that there is a black shadow in here. If you guys are super familiar with my channel, you know I love an eyeshadow palette that includes a black shadow, because I feel like black is a staple color. Like, every palette should have a black shadow in it. So I'm glad she included a black. She also included a really, really dark brown too, right here. But really quickly, I want to kind of compare it to the Riviera palette before we go into our tutorial. Because I know a lot of you may already have the Riviera palette, and you've probably been going back and forth on whether or not you should spend your money on the new Ashley Edwards palette, because this one looks as colorful as the Riviera. But first off, this is what they look like side by side, so you guys can kind of see if there's any similarities. This is what they look like. And the first thing that I noticed that's similar about the two is the pink and the purple shadows. So the Riviera palette has one pink, one purple. Well, it does have another pink in here, but it's more of a metallic. But as far as the mattes, well, actually it has another pink right here too. But the only two that really stands out to me that I can just automatically see that looks similar in the Alyssa Edwards palette is this hot pink and then this hot purple right here. So we're gonna go ahead and swatch both of these, and we're gonna see if both of those shades look similar to the hot pink and the purple in the Edwards, the Alyssa Edwards palette. So we're gonna start with the Riviera palette first. Just gonna put little swatches right here. So that's from Riviera. And now going in the Alyssa Edwards palette, this is my first time dipping in these shadows, but they feel pretty similar to the ones from the Riviera palette. And they're just as pigmented. So let's see how these look Okay, that swatch is kind of weird, but there we go. All right, so here they are side by side. The top ones are from the Riviera palette, and then the bottom swatches are from the Alyssa Edwards palette. So the colors look very, very similar. The purple in the Riviera palette actually looks a little bit lighter than the one from the Alyssa Edwards palette. But I noticed when I started swatching the purple, like it didn't really smear. It's like it's not really Can y'all see what I'm doing? Look at that. It's not really going anywhere. It's kind of like it stained my hand right there. Do you see that? That's so weird. Let me see with the pink. Yeah, the pink, so you can actually smudge or like smear the pink, but that purple, honestly, is not going anywhere. That is so weird. All right, I'm actually seeing 3 more shades in the Riviera palette that looks very similar to 3 shades in the Alyssa Edwards palette. So starting out with this dark brown, because we know that there's a brown in the new Alyssa Edwards palette, but let's see what the brown looks like. So here it is right here. Ooh. Right off the bat, the one from the Alyssa Edwards palette, it actually looks a little bit warmer. But let's see how, you know what? It looks the same. There is, nah. Now that I swatched it, it actually looks cooler than the Riviera palette. Riviera palette looks a little bit warmer, so that's the one at the top. And then another shade that looks similar, like they look really, really similar, is this lighter peach color. This one in the Riviera palette in the shade Coastline. And there's one in the Alyssa Ashley, not Alyssa Ashley, what am I talking about? But the Alyssa Edwards palette called the Supreme. But this is from Riviera. So it kind of looks ashy on my skin, but you can see the color. And then the one inside the why do I keep saying Alyssa Ashley, but Alyssa Edwards, the shade right here at the end, it kind of looks similar in a way. Oh, no, actually it looks darker, but the color story is kind of close. But there it is right there. And then there's one more shade that I feel like looks pretty close to each other. So the shade Yacht in the Riviera palette, this shade right here, which this one is a metallic color. Ooh, look at that. I'll show it up close in a minute. But the other one, which is in the Alyssa Edwards palette, the shade is called Inspire, and it is right here. It's actually in the same spot as the other palette. Wait, what Inspire? Okay, Inspire is definitely more golden, and then the one from the Riviera palette is more of a copper color. But yeah, but that's all the other shades that I thought looked pretty similar. So that way you guys can kind of see if you really need the new one or not. But that is what I really wanted to show you. Now let's go ahead and do a tutorial using the new palette. Don't know what we're going for. I don't know, but let's try this out. Oh, and I do have the new primer, the eyeshadow primer by Anastasia. So we're gonna be using that today too. I really don't use eyeshadow primers. I always have on concealer, and then I top off my concealer with a setting powder, which is what I already have on my eyes right now. But I still want to try out the primer so that way you guys can see how it's gonna look with the primer. So what I'm gonna do is do one of my eyes using the primer, and then the other eye I'm not gonna put on anything. I'm just gonna keep it as is. So I have on my concealer and my setting powder like I always do. So let's see what the primer is going to do. Like if it's going to make a difference, if it's gonna make it look better. We don't know. We're about to see though, but this is what the primer looks like. I always get messy when I'm doing eyeshadow primers, so I'm gonna try my best not to get too messy with it. So the times that I've used primer in the past, like I used to use, ooh, this dries down quick. Oh wow, okay, wait. Oh, I didn't know that this dries down pretty quick. But when I was using primer in the past, I would always use the Urban Decay primer. And what was the other one? It was one by MAC. Oh, the Paint Pot. The MAC Paint Pot. Those are the ones that I would always use if I was using, you know, some type of primer on my lid. But then I got into doing concealer because I thought it was just so much easier and faster, because I'm already putting on concealer under my eyes and then, you know, blend it out. But yeah, this is how the primer is looking, and it dries really fast, like really fast. But I'm just gonna keep it right here. I'm not gonna get, you know, put on any more product. But yeah, this is how it is looking. Now let's see what we're gonna do as far as our transition color. I think the best color in here that would look good as a transition color would probably be, I don't know. I'm actually gonna dip into Unicorn Tribe, this color right here. This is really pretty too. I'm gonna swatch it on my hand so y'all can see. Look how, ooh, that is cute. Look at that. That's cute. Okay. Not a shade that I would say go for as a transition color, but it's gonna be the first shade that we're using today. So we're gonna put this in the crease. This is a Morphe 505 brush. Brand new. I just took it out the plastic, so it's not worn in yet. I feel like brushes perform so much better once they're worn in, but I don't have any clean ones in front of me, and this was the only clean one that I had. But I don't know. Ooh, I am making a mess. Okay, this color is really pigmented, so yeah. But is it blending good though is the question. I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. We're gonna see if using that primer is gonna make a difference. But you guys see that it still shows up, like it's still pretty pigmented. So I'm just putting this in my crease. And I just dipped my brush in there one more time. So I dipped the brush in the purple twice on this side, and I also just dipped it in twice on this side. But this is what it's looking like. Which side are y'all liking so far? I'm liking this side better. I don't know why, but I like this one. It looks more diffused and more airbrush than this side. Like, I can see, I don't know. I feel like the primer is kind of taken away from the blend. Maybe I just didn't put on the primer like I was supposed to. I just used my finger. Maybe I was supposed to use a brush or something. I don't know. But I'm liking this side so far because it just looks so airbrushed and blended. It looks good. All right, so this brush is the Morphe M535, and this is a little bit more fluffier than the one that we were just using. And the next shade that we're gonna dip into, I really don't know. I really don't know. Like, what am I going for? What am I going for? What type of look are we going for? We're gonna dip into the blue, and it's called Dream It. This one right here. I'll swatch this one on my hand so y'all can see how that looks. So there is Dream It right there. Kind of looks a little choppy, but let's see how it performs on the eyes. And I'm gonna put the blue right here on the center part of the eye, right here. It's not as dark. Ooh, it's actually cute, but it's not as dark as I thought it would be. I think this is one that I would have to, okay, there it is. There is that pigment. I dipped the brush in there one more time, but there is the pigment right there. Okay, this is cute. I'm gonna keep the blue like that. Just gonna keep it sitting right there. I don't know what that line is doing. Do you guys see that? I'll fix that in a minute, but that is where I want to dip or place the blue. I'm just gonna keep it right here on the center part of my lid. Okay, that's one dip, and then I'm gonna go in the second time so that the color can show up even more. Probably should be using a different type of brush to put the color right here, but it's okay. We'll make it work. But so far, this color is really nice. What side do y'all like best so far? Still feel like I'm leaning more towards this eye than this eye. All right, next I'm gonna go into DDC. This is a metallic purple. This is cute. Here's DDC right there. And I want to put that right here on the center of the lid. I'm gonna use this e.l.f. brush. It's the 201. This is like a flat brush. Do y'all see what it looks like? There it is. So it's like a flat brush. I'm just gonna place that color right here on the center of the lid and kind of blend it in a little bit to that blue. I haven't sprayed the brush, by the way. So the brush is dry. I haven't sprayed it with anything. And we're just gonna pack it on the center of my lid, like that. All right, now going on this side without the primer, let's see how this looks. But this is what we're looking like. I'm still liking this side without the primer than I do this side. Like, this looks messy to me. And this one, like, this just looks so much more softer, more blended. This side just looks messy and choppy. All right, so I'm gonna take my Morphe M330 brush and we're gonna dip into BBBC, this shade right here, which is the darkest berry color in the palette, which I am very drawn to. Love this type of purple. I feel like this is like my signature type of purple because this is like one of those colors that I always have on my eyes. So I'm gonna put this color right here on the outer part of my lid. So right here where we did not apply any shade or any color yet, and just tap it right there and blend it, kind of blend it into, if it's gonna blend. It feels like, I feel like it's not blending into that first shade. Let's just put a little bit more color right there. Okay, so I mean, the color, like the color story is really pretty, but I'm just not a fan of this side right here. But I'm gonna keep applying some of that color and kind of blend it into that middle shade and take it into the crease a little bit, like that. Just focusing more of that color right here, just right here on the outer part. Y'all see what I'm doing. Girl, you see what I'm doing. Just keeping that shade right there. I'm gonna fix it in a little bit, but my main focus right now is just to pretty much put color, like the colors in place, and then once I'm done, we're gonna go into blending everything. But this is what we're looking like so far on this side, and this is the one, well, this is the side that we use eyeshadow primer. So we're gonna go over to this side and do the same thing and pack that color right here where we did not put on any shadow. So pack it right there. Yes. All right, now we're just gonna go ahead and make sure that everything is blended good. So I'm gonna go into that very first shade that we use, and we're gonna take the Morphe M505 brush. So the first shade that I used was, which one was it? Unicorn Tribe. This one right here. And I'm gonna take a little bit of that, and we are going to place the color where we did in the beginning. So right here in the crease. Place a little bit more of that color right here, and we're gonna lightly blend it up towards my brow bone like that, and then doing the same thing on this side. I have a really light hand when I do this because I don't want most of that product to be up there. So when I start to blend up, I am being very, very light-handed when doing that. This is cute. I like this color. I like the blue, the purple. I like how it's looking. So let me know what side you like the best. This blue is showing up so much more right here than it is over here because obviously we have on the primer, but as far as the blend, it looks better over here than it does over here in my opinion. So the next thing I want to do is take a little bit of, do I want to do the black or, yeah, I want to do a little bit of the black right here. And when I say a little bit, I mean a little bit. I'm going to take the, not the Anastasia, but the Sigma winged liner brush. And this is for, you know, wing liner if you want to dip it into a, you know, gel liner or something like that. But I'm gonna take this color, the black right here, put a little bit on the brush, and this is how I like to kind of make my cut crease, just to kind of give me the illusion of a cut crease. So I'll take this and I'll start right here at the far corner of the eye. This is gonna start to look messy, but I promise you once we blend it out it's gonna look better. But I'll start right here at the end, and then I will kind of lightly flick it like this. Like, this black is super pigmented, like really pigmented, but I'm gonna lightly do this, flick it, and I'm not putting much pressure when I'm doing this. I'm just lightly dragging it into the crease like this. And then I'm gonna take that brush that we just used for that dark purple, and I'm gonna lightly buff that black into the purple, or just kind of blend this part right here so it won't look too harsh. And the last thing I'm gonna do for the top of the lids, I'm gonna go back with the Morphe M505. I'm gonna make sure to take off most of the product on the brush. This is a color switcher, and I got this from Target. But I'm just gonna make sure all or most of that product is off of the brush, so that way it won't start to look crazy once we start to blend. Make sure it's all off. And I'm going to be really light-handed with this, and go back into the crease and just kind of buff the crease like this, go back and forth, and then kind of lightly bring it up into, well, just kind of lightly drag it up as I do it. And we're doing this so that way there is no harsh lines. Everything blends together nicely. And on the side right here, we're gonna do the same thing. We kind of lost the black right there. Well, actually, you can still kind of see it just a little bit, but that's okay. I could have done away with that step. Like, I didn't really need to have to put on black to kind of cut the crease, because it actually looks better once everything is kind of blended in. But this is what we are looking like. I think it's really nice. So that is all that I'm gonna do for the top of the eyes. I'm gonna go ahead and put on my mascara, some eyeliner on the bottom, and also my false lashes, and I'll be right back. All right guys, so this is the final look. I went ahead and popped on a little bit of highlighter on the center part, well, the inner corner of the eyes, because I always do that, but I like how it came out. I still like the side where I didn't put primer on better than I do the other side. Let me know if you guys see a difference, which side you like the best. Also, if you guys have already tried out the Alyssa Edwards palette, let me know your thoughts. Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Does it blend well for you? And also the primer too. Let me know your thoughts on the primer as well. So yeah, now do I think you guys need this palette if you already have the Riviera palette? I would say if you're not that much into color, then absolutely not. So if you already have the Riviera palette, then you definitely don't need to get the Alyssa Edwards palette. But if you are a makeup addict, if you like to collect the Anastasia palettes, then I would say absolutely get your hands on the Alyssa Edwards palette, because I think this is going to be limited edition. I'm not too sure, but the shades in here are really, really, really pretty. I see that there's actually more mattes in this palette than there is in the Riviera palette. As far as the color story in this palette, I like the blues, I like the purples. I like how she did a splash of yellow in here. Was there a yellow in the Riviera palette? Okay, so the yellow in this palette is actually more of a brighter neon palette. The yellow in the Riviera palette, that one's more of a mustard yellow. So I like the pop of color. I like that it includes the black and the brown. And I just think this is a really nice palette to have in your collection. Now, if you don't have either one and you do want to purchase a colorful palette from Anastasia, but you don't know which one to get, I would say if you like more mattes, then get this one, because this one doesn't have as many, this one actually has more mattes in it than it does metallics. You have 1, 2, 3 metallics in this palette. The other palette, which is a Riviera one, you have most of your metallics right here. Like there's a full row of metallics in here, and then these down here, well up here, these are mattes. So if you're more into mattes, then I would say Alyssa Edwards. If you're more into color and metallics, then I would say the Riviera palette. But yeah, I think that is all that I have to say about that. Like I said, let me know if you guys have already tried out this palette. Let me know if you tried out the eyeshadow primer. I want to know your thoughts. So let's go ahead and chit chat about it down below in the comments. I am doing a giveaway on my channel for this whole entire year. So every single month, I'm giving away 1 box to 1 person, and it's super easy to enter the giveaway. All you have to do is make sure that you are subscribed, make sure you thumbs up the video, as well as leave a comment down below in the comment section. And I don't want the comments to be anything about the giveaway. So let's talk about this eyeshadow palette. Let's talk about this primer. Let's talk about that. But yeah, I think that is all that I have for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you thumbs it up. Make sure you are subscribed if you're not subscribed already, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.